What's really amazing to me is I feel like my heart was always here in Kansas City, and I didn't know it until I arrived. And I started to experience and feel that certain, I use the word resonate a lot with artists, and I think it's a word that makes sense to me in a lot of ways. But I really felt like when I got here to Kansas City, things just felt right. Kansas City was the cultural crossroads of America. But I didn't realize when I took the keys to this building, I had no idea that we are literally in the heart of the historic Jazz District. We're right across the street from 12th Street and Vine, which is referenced in the song Kansas City, Here I Come. Well, there's a lot of songs that showcase the fact that this neighborhood we're in, and in fact the intersection across the street, was such an iconic place because this is where all of these great musicians came. They walked the street, they stood across the street from here now, they walked past this building. There's so much history. Kansas City is the only UNESCO designated city of music in the United States. And they recognize the significant music history of Kansas City. And for us to be right here where it all happened absolutely feels right. And there's a certain energy that I believe was calling, that now I'm here. I think a lot of people feel it. I do believe that a lot of people feel that energy in Kansas City. You have a lot of incredible musicians that came through here, but a lot of masters in every artistic discipline. So very serendipitous, but it feels right that we're right here in the center of the United States in this incredible city with such vibrant and rich jazz history. The company started in a community outside of Kansas City called Overland Park, and then we moved to Olathe, Kansas, where we started to really grow. But serendipitously, I had an opportunity to move into this building that we're in right now. It's a 1920s factory facility where they made plumbing components, valves and fittings for the plumbing industry. Yeah, there was a clear moment for me when I realized that, of course, I love making instruments. It's something that I feel like I was called to do. I wanted to make instruments. I love working with my hands. I love creating something that somebody can express themselves with. There's a turning point for me, though, from that to realizing that there was a greater opportunity. Remember the day a good friend of ours, Farnell Newton, who's out in Portland, Oregon, said, "Hey, Mike, I've got a trumpet player I want to introduce you to." And he introduced me to Arnetta, and we were at the NAMM show out in California. And just from the get-go, now I'd already been familiar with Arnetta. I've been hearing a lot of buzz about Arnetta coming up, from New Jersey and all this. And so Farnell introduced us in person at the NAMM show, and just instantly I could get a really great vibe out of Arnetta. She had a very positive demeanor, very energetic. And then I heard her playing the horns that she was trying out, and I thought, oh man, this is pretty awesome. So we kind of hit it off in the beginning, and at the time, Arnetta was making some noise in the industry, if you will, just because she's very approachable. She's got such a great sound. She's got a great energy. It's very infectious energy. And then it was, I want to say maybe shortly after I met her that she started playing with B.A.C. and getting some really high profile, opportunities, which is really cool to be with Arnetta. And now every time I hear the radio and I hear AJR, it's really cool. What makes Arnetta even an echelon higher and more special to me is that she really believes in community the same way that I believe in community. And knowing that Arnetta is very deeply passionate about her community in Camden, and she started Arnetta's Band Camp and wants to give back and make sure that kids have the opportunity to get that inspiration and to develop the passion that they have for music. And that speaks volumes. There's not a lot of musicians that take the time that want to give back to the community and recognize that this is where I came from, and I want to make sure kids in my position have that opportunity and that ability. So that is there's a lot of really great musicians out in the world, and Arnetta is one of those. And there's a lot of really great people, and Arnetta is one of those. But then you have the next level of people that are really, truly, deeply committed to a sense of community and making the world a better place. And that's one of the reasons I'm really proud to be able to work with Arnetta Johnson.
So being a B.A.C. representative is awesome. I enjoy it a lot because it's not just your regular partnership or collaboration or endorsement. You know, just like some other people with other companies. You know, it's more than just a picture with a horn in your hand. It's an actual relationship, a community. You know, and I've met musicians literally across the country where they look and they're like, wow, what's that horn you have? And I'm like, it's a B.A.C. horn. And they're like, oh, I have a B.A.C. horn too. And it's like instantly we're like buds. So yeah, being a B.A.C. rep is a wonderful thing. And then just working with Mike, it's awesome because, you know, he's not only the Mr., you know, he's not just the horn doctor. He takes the time, he studies the people that he works with. He knows everything about you. He knows why you like the horn you play. And then on top of that, it's like even being here in the facility, getting to test out all these different horns, being able to create my own horn that's specifically made for me. Like, that's a big deal. Sonically, I love that. And then visually, I get into like the optics of things. Like, I like the way my horn looks. That's a big deal. So that, you know, when I'm playing on stage, I could be so far away and people will be like, oh, look at her bell. Simply because there's a design in it. So the first horn that I got with B.A.C., the first custom horn I got, it has the word faith on the side of the tuning slide to represent, like, this is my first professional trumpet, and from whence I came, having that word faith wrapped around the horn to keep it together. So B.A.C. that was my first horn that was professional, and it played top quality. And I'll say something I do take personal is how people respect you and they don't wait until you have this grand thing happening that could benefit them for them to see your value. So it didn't take me touring with the biggest artists in the world for Mike to be like, let's work with Arnetta. It just took me, I guess, just being a solid trumpet player, and I guess somebody cool when we met at NAMM, you know? So, and then from there, when I opened up and told him, you know, things that I was looking forward to doing, and then how I played and my style of music and different visions that I had for my trumpet, and he was just like, oh man, this is right up our alley. Boom, it clicked. And then from there, I just happened to land on the biggest stages in the world with a really cool trumpet.
All right, let's get your stuff in here. Very good to see you, very good to see you. Hop in, let me get in here. That's the B.A.C. factory right there. But I wanted to be in bands so bad. My family didn't have all of the resources in the world, so I was very, very fortunate to have gotten into band later than all my peers. Because I think having that understanding helps connect a lot of dots with why I really believe in what you're doing, especially with your band camp kids. Why your approach to the world of music is really in line and in sync with so many things that I believe in and that I feel define B.A.C. We're making music more accessible to families.
Yeah, that's the most important part. That's almost pretty much how I really learned. I didn't learn how to play trumpet through like the theoretical process of it. I literally learned because my teacher at the time, Nazir Dickerson, they literally just gave us a Art Blakey and Jazz Messengers record and was just like, learn these songs. I didn't know what buttons to push. I was just matching sound with sound.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, that button makes that sound.
Yeah.
And that is how I slowly learned how to play the trumpet.
Do you know about all the history, what I did down in New Orleans? Do you know that whole story?
Not the whole story.
Okay.
I only know like surface level.
Okay. All right. So, where were you in 2005? I had just moved to Kansas City. I was a little older. I was 24, and I had a shop in my basement, and I had a TV down there. And I remember like thinking to myself, man, this is awful. Like seeing everything unfold, people getting saved from their rooftops, and I mean, it was like complete disbelief when it happened, because such a huge city like New Orleans, that didn't happen. It doesn't happen like that. So I remember having a lot of conversations with different people. One of them that really hit me was my band director from high school that I'm still close with. And I thought, man, you know, what's going to happen to all of the musicians here in New Orleans that lost everything? What's going to happen to the music scene in New Orleans? So I had a mobile repair shop that I drove around the country and did repair for the drum and bugle corps thing, right? Wow. And I had a van with a trailer, and the trailer opened up like a taco stand.
I remember you saying you had a mobile repair shop, but I didn't know that was the foundation of it.
That was it. So I thought, why don't I bring this down to New Orleans and do free repair for the community? And so
awesome.
I got on the Google, and I found an organization called Renew Our Music Foundation, and I said, oh, that sounds good. So I called them up, and I said, yeah, hey, I'm not sure what you guys do. Renew Our Music Foundation sounds good, though. This is what I do. I fix instruments, and what I was thinking about doing is bringing this mobile repair shop to New Orleans to offer free repair, because I didn't have a lot of money. It was like I couldn't donate to anywhere that would make any difference, but I thought, I've got a skill that if I did this, I could actually help. I said I'd never been in New Orleans. I didn't know anybody in New Orleans, but this is what I wanted to do to help out, and I felt that it would help people. And they were like, look, you get down here and we'll take care of the rest. So it was about a year and a half after the storm. So this was in 2007, my first trip. And I went down to this little neighborhood they set me up in that I'd never heard of before then, called Tremé, which is, of course, Tremé. And set me up at this little church. And I remember I brought my woodwind guy with me, and we were there for a week. We had so many people come out that we waited until the last horn got done. There was a group of young kids that waited for their last friend to have their horn fixed by the horn doctor. And then at the end, it was about midnight.
Ooh.
And we've been there all day. It was about midnight. Now, these kids were like, you know, when's the next time we'll have an opportunity to get a horn fixed for free kind of thing. So that last kid got his horn done, and they said, hey, horn doctor, we want to play for you to show you how much we appreciate. After that week, we had the question over and over and over, when are you coming back? When are you coming back? And originally, I didn't want to step on the toes of any other musical instrument repair shops in town. So, but I was being mindful of that, but wanted to also help the community. And what I learned in that first trip is that there was no repair shop in New Orleans proper. We ended up going down for about 8 years straight. We'd go down there once or twice a year to fix horns. So that was the first opportunity. I was young when I decided to do that. It was early in for the B.A.C. You know, it was mostly horn doctor. Right? We were making horns, but it was like low-key, custom stuff. And that was a really defining moment, because I realized that a company that did what we do could really make an impact on a community. If you go back in time and I evaluate what compelled me to go down to New Orleans after Katrina, it was because we saw a problem, saw a way we could solve the problem, or at least contribute to helping, and then did it. One of the programs that came out of that realization was the Virtual Booster Club. So it is kind of cool, and a lot of people, it takes a minute to understand this, but because we go direct and we have this rental program through rentmyinstrument.com, and B.A.C is a manufacturer of instruments. We also have our brand of marching instruments For marching bands and drum and bugle corps, it's called 825. So we created this program where if a school is registered with Virtual Booster Club as a Virtual Booster Club account, then every family that rents an instrument through their exclusive link, so we'll give that school program or nonprofit, we'll give them a link that is their own Virtual Booster Club link. Any family that rents an instrument from that, every dollar that they spend is given to that program in credit. And at the end of the year, or whenever they want to do it, they can take that credit and purchase instruments with it from us for basically free, is the way that it works out. So it's an incredible program. Band directors are often dealing with either no budget or low budget situations where they don't have the resources to get new instruments every year. If they do get many band directors I've spoken with, their limited budget is what they have to work with. If they need repairs done, if they need instruments, if they need music, if they're getting buses to move the band around to a field trip, that's the one budget they have, and it doesn't go very far. So by creating the Virtual Booster Club, it gives band programs an opportunity to get new instruments each year. And depending on how many students are involved in their program, really provides more impact for them. The more students that use the program, the more free instruments they're getting. And we see that as an opportunity of reinvesting into that community that's supporting us. We are a family-owned business. B.A.C is very grassroots. We don't have, big extravagant budgets for things. We've been naturally and organically growing. We've been around now for about 25 years, and we've done some really exciting things, and I think it speaks volumes, the things that we've achieved with an organic grassroots strategy. And now with the Virtual Booster Club, we see an acceleration of that because it's really making a tremendous impact on a lot of schools we're working with already. This is the third year. We piloted the program a couple years ago. We rolled it out kind of soft, and now we're really letting people know about this program, and we're already seeing tremendous impact on programs all around the United States. With the Virtual Booster Club, we've got an incredible team here. B.A.C is far bigger than just me now. We've got an incredible team of very dedicated people that believe in the same thing that drove me to build and grow B.A.C. And we were evaluating the situation after COVID and the tremendous impact that the pandemic made, especially on the creative world and on band programs. Guest musicians and bands that might normally make an appearance in a school that would perform, that might inspire a child to want to play an instrument. We had a couple of years where that didn't happen in schools across America, and that made a really big impact on a lot of lives, and it prevented that inspiration from happening. So one of the things that came up, we are the only company that is going factory direct. We're the only band instrument company in our space, with all the competitors that we have, that have made the decision to go factory direct. And it was something that we really had to think about. And we thought, if we do this, it gives us the opportunity to make a bigger impact in programs across the country. So testing the Virtual Booster Club, one really incredible success story I love to point out, it's in Wellington, Kansas. It's a small program. The population of the city is 7,000. And over the last couple of years, they've earned about $24,000 in credit. That's allowed them to get a lot of instruments that they really needed. And again, it's a situation where those instruments might not have been procured because there wasn't necessarily a budget for those things. But now with that free credit, the band director has an opportunity to say, yo, I really need a tenor saxophone. Ours is falling apart and not, 30 years old or whatever the case is. So those are real instances. We had a school down in Florida that started the program last year, small private program, and they have about 50 kids in the program. I think they earned around $14,000 in their first year, and the band director is, saying, wow, got a double French horn, compensating 4-valve euphonium, an open hole flute, and a handmade trumpet for their program. So they got a lot of distance out of that. And again, one of the things that when I asked the band director, and he said he got an open hole flute because for flute players, as you get more advanced, that's one of those features that you would get. and none of the students in the program had an open hole flute. They didn't understand how it would make a difference. So having the opportunity to have one in this program that he could pass around to the students gives them the opportunity to understand, oh, I can really, when I get to a certain level, I could advance to this. So it's really cool to see these programs getting tenor saxophones or an extra mellophone for the marching band. I actually also still teach marching bands. So last year I was working with Shawnee Mission North High School here in the Kansas City area, and I'm out on the field and the new band director at the school, and I was very happy to offer some assistance to get out there. And I'm on the field and I noticed that the baritone player is holding one of our 825 baritones. Now he doesn't know who I am, and I love this, and I say, oh man, that's a nice horn you got there. And the kid was so excited. He's like, oh yeah, I love it. This is new, we just got it. Man, it sounds great, it feels good. He's telling me all about how much he loves this horn, and I'm just thinking, wow, this is really great. This is why we do what we do. You know, we really do want to make a difference at the end of the day.
B.A.C. will be a major support, and has already been a major support with Arnetta's band camp. A major thing with being a representative of companies is a lot of people think it's just with the instrument, but another side that I think a lot of people don't realize or don't experience with their companies is the financial support. B.A.C. has come through plenty of times with donations to the band camp, whether it's for lunch or equipment for kids' instruments and stuff like that. But on top of that, you know, Mike has flew in and has done master classes to show these kids how to take care of an instrument, how repairs are done. Just showing them that alone is like a major big deal, and it's fun to see at camp. Like, you have kids still talking about it till this day. With the partnership I have with B.A.C., we always have students that are in need of instruments. It's a lot of kids still in that situation. So working with B.A.C. right now, there's this thing called the Virtual Booster Club that we'll have with Arnetta's band camp. So the way this will work is, say if a student's like, okay, I need a new horn. That way they could get a horn, and then proceeds from that go to Arnetta's band camp, but it's utilized for us to get more instruments through B.A.C. So stay with me. So this is the cool part. With Arnetta's band camp, obviously, like, we're working with kids that play instruments. There will always be a kid in need of an instrument. So one of our goals is either scholarships or to donate a horn to a student, to where they aren't stressed out because they're getting ready to go to college and they're like, I don't have a horn because I have to give it back to my high school and we can't afford one. So the goal is with B.A.C. and A.B.C., Arnetta's band camp, is to always have this relationship to where it's just like, all right, we got one. What can we get, Mike? And Mike's just right there like, pick your poison. And then, you know, from there, it's just like, hey, kid, you said you needed a horn? Boom. Easy as that.
The fundamental thing that I really do hope, when I think of B.A.C., I think B.A.C. is a community. It's not about a model of instrument. It's not about even a line of instruments. It's about a community of people that really care about music and band and giving opportunities. We have musicians that inspire. Musicians like Arnetta and Elliot Mason, Trombone Shorty, they inspire everybody. They inspire me as an adult. They inspire young kids to want to play. And they do that with a B.A.C. instrument in their hands. My hope would be that 25 years from now, that community would be a lot larger, and that the impact will continue to magnify and trickle out, so that through the people that we're fortunate to work with and the people that they inspire down the road, that they'll continue the idea of embracing the reality that the B.A.C. community can really make the world a better place. B.A.C. stands for Best American Craftsman, and I absolutely 100% it's not just about craftsmen making instruments, it's about craftspeople creating music with those instruments. I see that as the future. My son is 15. He's starting to really get into it. He's a musician himself. He's learning how to make instruments. So in 25 years, I hope that there's more young people that have been inspired to continue carrying the torch of making instruments here, and a lot more people creating music with the instruments that we produce.